It could be a little bit slower coming out from lanes for SMG, but with a couple of mid-game items, tempo swings their way. So that's something Blacklist will have to be cautious about. We shall see. They are smoked up on both ends. And again, with the Naga, you can just use the illusions, get some free scouting out, figure out if their wards dropped. Already some pings coming out, so maybe expecting some early wards, but it's just a smoke play from Carl giving that vision.
Yeah, Arthur was trying to get in range to take the Watcher, but sees it was already taken, gets the hell out of there. And Blacklist, I don't know if they really want to fight level 1. Like, you do have clockwork, you know, it is kind of nice, but against the Slark, you know, it can be a little bit scary, though. Mid one isn't there, to be fair, so no Essence Shift to worry about yet. Both teams going to sit back for now and maybe just go for the safer route when it comes to these bounty routes. Lanes are going to be extremely important for Blacklist Rivalry this game, of course. But I don't think you can really afford to lose these lanes at all if you are Blacklist. You just the mid game is going to be so hard if the Blacklist boys cannot get the lanes won out. SMG on the other hand, they'd be very, very happy with that kind of start. As we are going to see Arfu already scouting out this bottom side, and it is going to be a 2 for 2. So a nice even start this time around.
Gonna feel pretty good. Last time around, Blacklist did manage to go at 4-0 on runes, and that didn't quite line up the way they'd want to for building up that momentum. So an even start does make it a little bit more manageable for the bottle timing here for no one. Keen to see how he works this mid. Puck versus Ember is fairly straightforward. Ember should be pretty happy. Every single time he can just run down no one, he'll take the chance to do so. You don't have a way of burning through that early Flame Guard all too consistently for no one. The Orb can, but early levels, the shield does survive, so a little bit rougher for him to try to spam out. And Carl can always try to dodge with Slight. So it's just more manageable for Ember. Puck doesn't necessarily get completely shut down, though, as we have a pause.
Phoenix Bug, we're stuck with it. We are stuck with it. There is I don't believe it's fixable.
No.
And you can't see Shell.
Now that's worse.
Okay, that's a problem. Let me see. Where's Darksy? There he is. I don't see it. Okay. In fact, I see it right behind. Yeah, like the cameraman. I see it like behind him. Like on the
the Durian salesman. Hey, watch yourself, Kate.
All right, KP is playing the Durian hero, Jonathan. Look at that. Well done, Jonathan, on scouting that out. I told you he was a Durian salesman. Not a very good one, but
spiky coconuts, right? Like
he's getting there.
A cosmetic for actual Durian on Witch Doctor. If he played off-lane Witch Doctor, and that would be the Durian merchant throwing his wares at unwilling buyers.
That's true.
That's how he works his route in Mount Apo, around Mount Apo.
No, that's his training. That's outsider work, John. He likes to train to carry his team uphill, as you saw in the Twitch chat. You know, very important. Training arcs for KP. Okay, he got his Iron Shell back. That's okay. No, wait, I actually can't see it. Never mind. It literally just disappeared.
It doesn't matter if you don't see it, Mike. Okay. No one cares about if the caster can see it or not. Just gotta be on point. You know, it's your job, Mike.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on KP. No problem.
Getting flashbanged across the map.
I was going to say, I'm sure you're very happy that we've had Phoenix every game so far in this Best of 5 Grand Final.
I love these bugs, you know? Yeah. They're so enjoyable to me. They make 0 sense. I believe it's always something to do with the origin point dead center of the map as well. Pretty sure the particles are trying to act like they're originating from there, but I wouldn't know. Anyway, more pressing matters on hand. You know, there's actual gameplay here. Mike with the unpause, Raven up top along with Cuckoo. On that, Sven and Phoenix up against Masa and Afu on the Naga and ET. This is actually a pretty stable farming lane for Masaros and Raven. You can get a little bit aggressive on SMG. It's fairly easy with Ensnare and a Stomp down the line if Masa will opt for that value point.
Aggressive play with the Inkswell. They'll go on to KP. KP will try to run around the high ground, but will not make it so far. Mid one just moving in, does get the kill. Meanwhile, Tim's also in danger, will not get the deny. I believe you're about to tell me something went wrong with the vacuum, are you not?
He vacuumed him up. I saw him go onto the cliff and then he just got tossed back down.
He did, that did happen.
That was
yes.
sad.
I'm not sure if we caught it, but it did look like mid one got onto the cliff and somehow ended up back there.
He clipped into the cliff, like he was inside on top of the cliff. So I guess it acted weird, and
Okay.
it was an invalid location, so he got pushed back down.
That's okay.
Kind of makes sense to me.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
That's all right. Still got the double.
That's two freebies for Midwin. He's more than happy that they tried that. And 2 permanent Agi already up. Level 3 again is the big timing here for Blacklist in this lane, but you gave 2 kills away. You have to be a bit cautious. Bleeding into a Slark who is already looking for some early timing into like Power Treads, Echo Saber to run around and play with this momentum that you always look for in SMG. That means the timing's just going to be a little bit quicker here for Midwin, and his presence is going to be felt a lot earlier as well.
Looks like Arfu's going to rotate mid now. No one. Trying to get in onto Carl. Arfu going to rotate to try and dive Carl here with the Astral Spirit.
Bounty.
Carl going to go for a TP play. Arfu can't make it. Nice try.
Yeah, he's opening up some space. I mean, this Naga solo can just handle the lane, so it's pretty all right for Afu to actually be here. Carl does
started.
tip away, you know, and then this is classic Carl. Good old Santino. The high fives and the tips. Feeling himself.
Yeah.
He's been good lane though. 20-7 up against the 10-1 of the puck. You'd expect the puck to maybe get a little bit more, but this is pretty dominant from Carl to start off with.
Yeah. That's why you want the Ember pick. It's very, very powerful when it comes to playing against the puck. Arfu. Oh, can't guard the water rune. Cuckoo comes in and just swipes it away. Excuse me, that's mine.
Doing pretty good to deny both runes away from no one. No one dying, so no one to TP top up for him as well. And Carl has a nice little level advantage. Half a level
Lane.
above, already on to 5.
Massa, he's going to go for a TP play out, and they've already committed the Stormhammer, so they actually can't kill the Naga Siren. She'll be just fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Genuel going to go for a bit of a chase on Tims. Inkswell will land, but you don't have mid one to back him up. So Genuel, he'll just chase himself. Tims will run away. Everything going to be just fine, as Tims now has a pause out. Carl will disconnect. Polite reminder, disconnecting and reconnecting is not going to solve the Phoenix issue.
Fix your problems, as he said.
Say it, no one. Tell him.
Tell all of us. Fix our problems. It's like no one's giving free psychiatry treatment. You know, it's like, these are problems. Fix your problems.
It's such an ironic thing to say. It reminds me of my sports teacher in high school. I once spoke out of line to my sports teacher, and he just shouted back, "Hey, don't be stupid, stupid." And I was like, well, how does that work? How am I... It's terrible. Kind of things I grew up with, John.
Don't be stupid, stupid. Great advice.
It really was.
You know, just don't be sick. Fix your problems.
And then
It's that easy.
Then I joined you in becoming a Dota 2 caster, so I don't think the advice quite got across, sadly,
No,
Jonathan.
you didn't join me. I joined you. It's my mistake, not yours. Okay? Let's make that clear.
Oh,
I joined you.
It's Cuckoo's. It's Cuckoo's fault. Who are we to blame?
It's his fault. I almost forgot. Cuckoo's here. It's always his fault.
Of course.
I saw him at the airport, that one time, and it was his fault that my flight was delayed. Obviously.
Oh. See, Genuel blocking a camp with a sentry is Tims? No, never mind. I'm seeing things. I was about to say he popped the smoke. He did not. Cuckoo, in the meantime, getting chased by Arfu. Should be just fine to walk his way out. No problems here. Kind of the thing with Arfu, like, it feels like it's his bread and butter. These kind of heroes like Elder Titan. He looks so comfortable when he's playing these heroes, I want to say.
He does. He's just so on point with how to play around, how to be the most annoying hero possible.
Mid one.
They're chasing.
Nice pounce. He'll catch KP mid-surge. KP still trying to run. A very nice vacuum from KP, dragging mid one back, but it's not enough. Another great kill here for mid one. And this is really the great thing, right? Like the Slark versus the Darks here and the Clockwork. 2 melee against Slark is never going to be a good time.
Certainly not, especially when you have this Grimstroke support, the Inkswell threat on the jump in. It's near impossible to try to play aggressive there. You don't even have the cogs being taken here by Tims. Just going for the rocket flare to get some info out, to get a little bit of the slow going. Fighting over the runes just a bit. And Zhao does manage to pick it up, so nothing coming out here for Carl. So no top up for him as well. The only lane going well for Blacklist is that mid. Like, everything else has been maybe a little bit rockier. You are having a pretty free time for Raven. So at the least, your Sven will have some really good farm up. But mid one's not doing too badly. Again, not up in net worth, but with kills, the Slark can never complain about that.
Nah, it's already 3 perma Agi. That's value if you ask me. He's a happy boy. Mid lane, you already kind of spoke about it. Carl's the one who has to really help his team kind of elevate in this game number 2. Bottom lane, mid 1, double Inkswar gonna land. They're rotating an extra hero over to try and help out. In fact, it's gonna be Cuckoo moving in, but mid 1, he has got the ulti up. Tims, he's still gonna try and go for the chase, but they're out of the battery assault. They have no cogs up, so they can't lock mid 1 in, and now Cuckoo's the one locked in. He'll fly away. Tims, in the meantime, sticking around, does take the Wisdom Rune, but it will cost him his life. And that's a +1 for mid 1 when it comes to the Agi department.
Is another +1 for him. He does lose his big component in the Blade of Alacrity for his Diffusal, but now when it respawns, he should just have the recipe on hand as well. Should be ready to just keep this run down, keep this momentum going on the Slark. Masa, no, he's getting all the space. It's really fascinating how they play with an off-lane Naga. They treat it as the one and play more tempo with mid one. So Masaros just gets to play this farming game up against Raven. Just has his double rate band, going for the Yasha into the Manta, as we were talking about in the draft. And there's no one to stop him. So you can't find an answer for mid one. You're not bullying out the Naga. Both of these cores are getting the build-up they'd want. Again, the only hero you've really managed to shut down is no one's Puck. And he's had a rougher time than KP's had on the Darkseer. But it doesn't feel like that even matters. He has Dream Coil up. All he needs to do is add a little bit more control for mid one to play off of, and you're pretty happy here.
Oh, this time though, look at mid lane. Carl's got a double damage rune bottled up. This is something that SMG have been trying really hard to deny away from Carl. These power runes just so important for the Ember. And now with the double damage, he does make the rotation up towards the top lane. But Masaros, he reads the movement. He does back towards a tier 1 tower. Has a creep wave anyway, so doesn't really need to be out of position. And Carl will not be able to really successfully get anything with that rotation up top.
This passive play is detrimental to Blacklist, mainly because they don't have this triangle to fall back to. Right? You can't stack up for your Sven. You have forward wards already watching here from SMG on that top jungle as well. So you can't get some flash farm going for Raven in this interim period. And it's just the map control coming out from SMG so clean. And they've got their own stacks that they're clearing out slowly with no one. So he's managing to catch up a little bit more on that Puck. And even though it feels like SMG is the one that should keep this aggression up, again, their lineup doesn't necessarily want to be too aggressive anyway. Like, they want some build-up. Diffusal's flying out for mid one now, so that should be a key timing for them to start playing with. Bot tier 1 tower as well, very close to dying. Tims, don't show up there.
Yeah, Tims is not going to want to be here mid one, happily jumping the clockwork right into the cogs. Tims, 1 hit away, no 2 hits away now from dying, but mid one is going to be able to get it. No rotations coming to help out. Meanwhile, topside Carl has been caught by the dream call of no one, and they can't keep him alive. Cuckoo tries with the sun ray, but it's only level 1. The heal is not that great. And Arfu will return the tip towards Carl.
And this is terrible for Blacklist. 7-0. They have a slight net worth lead. That's mainly down to Raven having this much farm. But the fact that Raven is still below mid-one's farm, as a Sven up against a Slark, that's not great news. Sure, Masaros is not finding the quickest farm. It's a Naga. You can always use that mirror image illusions to keep that farm, keep the lane shoved out in your favor. And trying to play catch, but you don't have enough lockdown for no one just with the chains here.
Well, they're going to try anyway. No one. Juking out towards the south will go into the camp. Meanwhile, Arfu trying to move on to Carl. Carl will be okay to remnant away, but mid one, he's joined the fray again. They will drop the wall on top of him, but he's still just going to get Cuckoo down. And mid one, he just shadow dances away. This is what we kind of talked about when we got into game 2, like mid one. I said Echo Saber. He just goes to Fusel Blade and joins the team. Because he knows they can't kill him as long as they have the Shadow Dance up.
I think even without the Shadow Dance, trying to chain stun mid one. If mid one takes these fights without Shadow Dance, you know his team's around him. And it still feels impossible, considering how much control you have on SMG, even if Afu just hangs around mid one.
Raven. I mean, I don't know if mid-one can do this on his own, but Raven looks like he's a bit of a sitting duck right now, though. He'll pop the God Strength. He'll try to man up. There's no Shadow Dance for now. He's got to fight, surely. He's trying to run, but Raven is going to go down. Mid-one. 5th kill of the game already. Meanwhile, Arfu going to get jumped by Cuckoo. In comes Tims. Arfu, he will get conked up. No one might stick around to help out. In fact, Masros comes in with the song now, but they've lost Arfu. They'll try to trade with Tims. Mid-one's here. That'll be a bit more agi for the Slark, Jonathan. Now 8 perma agi for mid-one.
He is...
That's a lot.
He's been in 9 of the 10 kills. 9 of the 10 kills mid-one's been there. This is impressive. 10-1. Again, not a big lead for SMG, but this momentum they've built up, it's so scary to play into. You've got at least your egg ready to go here on Cuckoo, so you could maybe try to look for egg cogs plays, try to clump them up. Maybe a vac wall can kick in here as well, but SMG are not even playing necessarily as 5. It's just mid-one taking point, and SMG hanging back, waiting to see if they need to help mid-one for the most part.
Chains out on mid-one. Like he just walks into the T1. He doesn't care. He's so confident. Try and look for the D ward. Tims will push him back with the cogs and maybe go for a bit of a deny on that ward, and does. In fact, he gets the sentry instead. We'll keep the observer ward. They are looking at the Slark, but they know they can't really control him at the moment. Rocket Flare will give even more vision on mid-one, but again, he's just going to farm in front of them. No problems. In comes KP now. From the side, Tims, he has a hook shot, but they just aren't going to bother. No point. Maybe later, mid-one, still hanging around that bottom lane. Arfu reveals he is around the corner with that Astral Spirit, and I think that's going to be more than enough for Blacklist to just say, screw this. We're not going after that Slark.
Slippery to try to go for. Yeah, again, you're trying to get some space out for Raven. Has the Mom Echo Saber going into the Blink BKB, as we talked about as well, for his timing. But his entire jungle's taken over by Masaros. Just his forward top jungle, it's just pretty much gone to the Naga, and no one's there to punish. They'll try now.
Massa, I mean, he has not got the song up. So Carl, if you can lock him down into the hook shot, they should have themselves a pretty nice kill. Masaros going to try and make it as hard as possible with the mirror images, but it will do nothing. He is down. No one was rotating over on the puck, but understands he can do nothing to help.
A nice little pickup for Blacklist, something they desperately needed. 10-2. Both kills going to Cuckoo, which isn't the ideal, but I mean, you'll just take what you can get. Cuckoo's fault.
Yeah, of course. Just take all the kills. He's the boss after all. He deserves it. 14 minutes in now. No one going to try and secure a power rune for himself. Carl is not going to get lucky. No one will be able to pick up an arcane rune for his own on the puck. It's Carl. Oh, the TP cancel. That is just a BM cancel from no one. They may have needed Carl top, but I don't think they did. Everyone was fine anyway. No one's just like, screw you, walk back.
Yeah, he knows he has no bottle top up, no mana, so waste a little bit more time, open up some farm space for himself. Without that Dream Coil though, he could be a little bit susceptible if he's not careful, but KP doesn't find the opening, so it's just going to be perfectly fine, sitting back, building up. 1k lead still hanging steady for SMG. Mid-one has the full Echo Saber, going for the Ags next. How do you stop this puck and Slark? It doesn't feel like you can. Has to be a really clean team fight from Blacklist, but there's just no opportunity for this 5v5. Well, SMG just never plays that way.
I guess you're playing the slow game, right? Like, you're waiting for Raven to get to a point where hopefully he's uncontestable on the Sven. Whether that ever happens is a question in and of its own, but Raven is at least top of the net worth board right now. So he's on the right path to try to make a bit of a comeback happen here for Blacklist Rivalry. Cuckoo. As his smoke removed here is Blacklist Rivalry having a look around through the south of the jungle, seeing if they can find Masaros on that Naga Siren. Masaros, good positioning by the T2 bottom tower, will back his way out. So Blacklist Rivalry, they find nothing for their trouble. It seems like they're just kind of running around in circles, hoping to find at least a straggler, but SMG, they're playing a very clean game. In the mid lane instead, they're just going after the tier 1 mid tower. It's only Carl defending this. And eventually he will be able to successfully defend by the looks of it. But it's not like no one's backing off. He's still hanging around here. TP's incoming. Raven, he's going to pop the God Trick with the Blink Dagger out. No one. Still blinks out of there, no problem. That is unfortunate. It was the Inkswell Aghanim Shard, I believe, that allowed him to blink out.
And the Dispel just allowed him to bail out, and that would have been big. That's a blink reveal coming out from Raven. That's the commitment with God's Strength. That's going to be down. They hold on to that mid-tier 1, but Wall's down as well, so you're not going to be able to connect with like a vac wall play for your Sven anymore. And SMG are more than happy to just sit back and farm, work these lanes. They have to deny that mid tower away. And Masero is just controlling down bot. You've got even a room out for Afu to shove top by himself. Ags for mid 1, only one part away with the disassembly on that Echo Saber. So he's going to be having that longer reach on the pounce. The charges as well. Going to make it easier to catch out someone like Carl. The kite around someone like Raven Sven. I mean, this game is not simplifying. Even if Blacklist are finding some ways to stall,
Carl.
I don't know if you're going to reach that point here.
Trying to go after no one. Just the casual chains out. Won't last really long enough to set up the Tims. Oh, Bosku thinking about going up to the high ground, but Masteros and no one were just casually waiting. Oh, mid 1, like, he's so close now to the Ags. So darn close to having the Ags up on the Slark. So scary for Blacklist to try and deal with. But at least Raven will have a BKB by that point, more than likely, on the Sven to be able to play with his team, but still seems so tough against that Ags as now Carl's being watched. One, gonna go down towards the south, might run into Cuckoo. Cuckoo with a nice pounce away, or rather Icarus dive away. Will avoid the pounce from mid 1. In comes the Inkswell now to Carl. Carl gets silenced, Carl gets coiled, and Carl will die. Januel able to take that one with the Inkswell damage. Nice little combination from SMG, just destroying the Ember.
Just playing from the smoke. They saw mid 1, but they didn't see anyone else, so they figured, all right, should be safe. Nope, smoke was still running. They managed to get some punch. 11-2, a clinic coming out from SMG. Very clean gameplay. No openings coming out for Blacklist. You talked about the BKB for Raven lining up. I mean, he could go for the disassembly into BKB. I still don't know if that's enough. Like, even if you manage to have that debuff immunity, you've got to land this fight perfectly. You've got to be able to try to pin down no one. You could get isolated in the song as well, so it's going to be easier to focus you down if Masero shows up. There's a lot of weird factors that makes it hard as a game for Blacklist to try to hope for this hyper carry as a solution. Now we'll see. The lead has been growing slowly for SMG. Still not massive, 3k up. Blacklist are keeping up to an extent despite being 9 kills down. But they haven't really made anything work on the map. There's that Ags we've been talking about in mid 1 with that disassemble. So he's looking to jump someone.
They're gonna fight because there's a BKB on Raven as well. It's on the courier. In we go. Pounces out. They caught KP. He'll drop the wall immediately. Still dropping, but is alive for now. Meanwhile, a stop from Arfu gonna stop Cuckoo from being able to do anything in this team fight. Raven in the meantime, he's gonna jump in the back. He'll take Genuel down as mid 1 is still chasing KP. They'll get the kill eventually, but now mid 1, he needs his own way out. He doesn't have the Shadow Dance, but he will pounce away. He's fine. Meanwhile, Raven towards the west, around the Radiant Triangle, trying to chase down the puck, but no one will be able to juke him out.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That's still kind of costly for Blacklist. That's an offlane for his support. You're still getting more here for SMG, and SMG are playing basically 4v5. No, Masaros is not joining in.
Mid 1, he's gonna stick around for the fight on Raven. Raven still has a BKB available though, so he could use that if he needs it. Raven going for the run, but mid 1's just not done. Going into 4 heroes now, my goodness. No fear from the Slark. No one will be able to back him up. Arfu setting up with another great stop, and now the pounce back in from mid 1. They will finally force him back. But this Slark, he's still playing with them. Pouncing again. Carl's caught out another time, and he's gone. Oh, what a setup. Stormhammer comes in, but they can't kill mid 1. He's got Shadow Dance back up and available, jumping into the tier 3 tower. He's got 39 stolen Essence Shift stacks.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Can't deal with him. Just does too much damage, way too slippery. Really great read from mid one, playing off that Shadow Dance cooldown, just getting aggressive early and finally committing when he has it ready to go. Again, like, what do you do here as Blacklist? If you have this BKB on your Sven, it doesn't matter. You need to be able to land this big combination. It's really down to executing this team fight. It has to be a big vac wall with a Stormhammer and Cogs, along with the egg in the back line. If you can't land that, then I don't know if you can take up these split fights, because you have two slippery heroes that you need to catch in that wombo combo, and catching Midwin and no one together, it's quite frankly at this point a pipe dream. And again, this is all going for V5 as well, because Masaros is not showing up until he has his full heart.
Why not? Like, this is the kind of draft that SMG has been really proving to be extremely good on. Just these gradier drafts that, well, you just seemingly can't deal with. Like, they get away with this every game by the seams of it. Like, the fact that Massa and the Slark of mid one both can just free farm like this without any kind of contest, it's pretty concerning for Blacklist, who only have Raven hitting up that net worth. As well, we have a two-man smoke now. SMG, they'll see the shield rune. Blacklist trying to bait with it. No one's gonna have his smoke broken, but the hook shot, not quick enough. No one reacts way too fast. They'll still land a Stormhammer, but you've got the Dispel. Januel's there to save. They are making it look impossible. They really are.
They started too early with the Sunray. Like, Cuckoo started the Sunray before the hook shot came in. That meant a reaction was going to come out from Puck. So they missed out on that opportunity, and again, SMG can just do what they want. Cut down the mid creep wave, push into that tier 2 a little bit, pushing in top as well with Naga. Like, 2 lanes being shoved onto the tier 2s, and Blacklist can't stop it.
Smoke out. I don't believe the Rocket Flare had the vision of that. It was just outside of range. Cuckoo in the mid lane obviously did not see it, because the jump will be there from no one. That's a kill onto the Phoenix straight off the bat. Down south, Tims and Raven are both hanging around. This could be a very awkward fight for Blacklist. But they are chasing down Tims. Mid one, do you want to guess? Oh, he does! Oh. Mid one will take the guess. And it works out as he's found Tims. And Tims, well, he'll try to run, but it's going to be no good. He will go down to Arfu.
And this is space, I suppose, for Blacklist. Keeping that build up on Raven, trying to get that AC up and running on the Sven. You've got enough room for Carl to have that full Maelstrom going into his BKB. So you have some way of dealing with the illusions, but Roche opens up for SMG. And it is a good, tight, confined space for them to try to find on Blacklist, but I don't think they can contest. They're on the wrong side of the map, and it goes pretty damn fast with the output from mid one and Masaros here.
Nice scan out. Smoke, but immediately scanned by the side of SMG. Roshan is currently happening. SMG, they will get away with this one with no contest. And if you thought mid one was hard to kill already, he just got a whole lot harder to deal with. Because now he's got an Aegis up, and this smoke from Blacklist sadly will just amount to 0. In fact, no one, he is jumping in. He is jumping into the side of Blacklist. Look at the confidence. Where's the team? Where's the backup? They're not there. But no one still just casually just jumps in. He just doesn't mind. Mid one?
Them off from trying to take this follow-up fight, won't?
Mid one's alone. Stormhammer's gonna land, but the Cogs blocks them off from running down the staircase. We'll just take the Watcher.
Deal with his Slark anyway with 2 lives.
True.
It's a tough hero to pin down. And your most reliable stun right now is Stormhammer. And maybe like a vac wall and the hook shot if you can land it. They'll take the Tormentor at the very least for Blacklist, so they'll have some utility coming out with the shards, but okay, they recommit in getting Tim's, getting Cuckoo out first, and they find it for Tim. So they've got the jetpack to at least try to get some positioning here out for Tim's.
Carl.
Try to finagle his way around these fights.
Top lane, no one's in the chase for Carl. They don't have the Dream Core for now, so it should be a pretty hard kill to get, but Carl is going to show himself and no one's going to jump right in.
No.
The ensnare is there. Carl, he's got no time. The ensnare will lock him down long enough. In SMG, they are still just playing with their food, it seems, as Blacklist of not finding an answer to this game too. Cuckoo now trying to move up to help out Raven, who shows up. He'll go for his BKB usage on the Sven. But Coil is out catching too from no one. They won't die at least. The pipe is there from KP, but no one's not done. No one's jumping in again. Tim's is down. So is Cuckoo. And they're onto the tier 3 tower.
Onto tier 3s, Age is still standing. Carl's playing so confidently, but he's running into a Naga with a full heart and an Orchid. Like, the Orchid lands, he has no counterplay. BKB is still a long ways off. And 19-3, we're 3 kills away for SMG to find a magic number here.
Yeah.
Blacklist, this is not looking good. And 13k up, only 3 kills on the board. It's almost like game 1 in the latter part of that game. They have no play.
It's incredible from SMG. They've just made these games look so easy so far. There goes the top racks. This game is certainly not over yet. You've still got outer tier 2 towers in the mid and the bottom lane for Blacklist, but they are 13k behind now. And with the way SMG are playing, they are showing that they have got no fears in this game number 2.
I think they have
Raven is
right to have no fear.
Yeah.
Masaros is insane. He's got the heart up. He's basically the actual carry. Mid one was playing more of like this off lane, setting tempo. And even if you can start to catch out mid one, which you haven't yet, but if you can, what do you do about Masaros? What do you do about this Naga with a heart, with Manta, with all the stats, with the Orchid up, with a Butterfly coming out soon as well? Like, it doesn't feel like you can do anything. We're not seeing this high ground defense come out, the back wall egg, all these combinations that I've been talking about for literally the entire game. It's not showing up at all.
No.
SMG's giving no openings out here.
They are not. One outer tower gone. Masaros already getting started on the bottom tier 2 tower, but for now SMG just going to go for that outpost in that die triangle and just secure that. And the thing is for Raven, like, he's desperately trying to farm to a stage where he can do something for his team, but I don't think Raven's the issue here. It's like Raven just wants to jump in and fight. He wants to hit people, but if you can't provide him anyone to hit, it's like, what is this Fen meant to do? Even with the blink out, we just saw the counters from SMG. The ink swirl from Januel makes it impossible to finish off a hero. And that's probably why SMG was smiling at the end of that draft, knowing that they'd completely outdrafted Blacklist here in this game too by the seams of it. As SMG, they will wait out the creep wave to get to that tier 2 bottom tower before they can take that down. Raven at the stage now where he's building up to a harpoon, but you look at Masaros, he's got a full butterfly on the way now, the Naga Siren. This Naga Siren's feeling impossible to deal with as well. At least on a positive note, your Aegis on mid one is about to expire in 20 seconds, so there's that. Problem with that is mid one hasn't died anyway.
It doesn't matter. He's not gonna die. He has Death Shroud up with his own shard. You don't have enough lockdown. That's really what it boils down to. Unless you find Zhao in the backline first, but he's standing a million miles away. He knows what he has to do. He's got the 8 relents, just staying back, allowing his team to cop it, and just Inkswell to save, and they can clean up. And they're just playing so clean on SMG, so disciplined, which, you know, we don't see this too much from SMG. I'll be frank, you know, old SMG would be all over the place with their lead. They'd run forward. They just look to keep this aggression up. They know when to play calm now. They're sitting back, they're just playing to their strengths, and they just choke out Blacklist. Like, quite frankly, Mike, it feels like we're just waiting for a GG call. 98% win probability for SMG. It has to be a perfect play from Blacklist. But again, it's down to also finding that opportunity, and there's no opportunity coming out here. They'll try with a smoke.
They are going to give it a crack. They've got to give something a try. No one's going to go back and join his team again in that dire outpost area. Now, Blacklist Rivalry on the bright side, they are going to find themselves a couple bounty runes, so there's that. Mid lane, they'll see Masaros, but he's borderline impossible to kill right now. And in goes no one. The scan was out, no one will break the smoke, just to let them know that they knew. We're going to have a counter smoke now from SMG. Into the mid lane. No one. Who do we want? Finding nothing yet. He's still having a look around
Is under attack.
in that dire jungle, but it looks like everyone's going to back off with the TP. So now it's back to the high ground defense for Blacklist Rivalry.
Just sit back and hope for that opening. I love that SMG do respect the high ground hold. They want to pick off before taking these fights. So they also don't, give any openings out. Octarine up and running now for no one. So this puck is even more slippery. It's such a frustrating here to try to deal with how low its cooldowns are, how slippery it is with your lack of hard lockdown.
So by now from Januel, just locking a couple down. Carl's going to try and chase down Januel on the Grimstroke, but nothing comes of it as now mid one. Again starting. Here comes Massaros with the net. Locking down the end, the Ember. Vacuum, mid one on the high ground. We'll jump back to the low ground, almost getting low, but not quite low enough. He's running, but the chase is on from Blacklist. But never mind, they'll retreat again. Carl, he'll get coiled. There's the song out from Massa, trying to catch any stragglers. They've got the Ember Spirit another time, and Carl is dropping. Carl, he's going to remnant back to the high ground. No, he's not going to make it. He cannot get out. In goes mid one again. After Raven. Raven's going to pop his BKB. He's going to try one last time. But nobody is available to hit. Look at Massa. Massa's just running straight towards him. Tim's will go down.
Kill.
Raven just blinks the other way now. Ensnare out, locking down the Sven. They've bought back, but who are we aiming?
It's so hard to find a good target. And I have to say, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. You can net true Song without the Axe because of the rework on debuffing immunities. So they'll find the 22-3 now. And I don't think there's play here. I think you've just got to reset and Blacklist. They'll find more.
Yeah, Tim's with the dieback. 3 up now. 4 with Carl coming in with the respawn. That is not the numbers are not the problem. SMG, they might play it safe. Mid one's casually just carrying 2 gems, excuse me. Just look at that. It was just dropped one here.
2 eyes, right?
Why not?
You have 2 eyes. You need 2 gems for 2 eyes. That's the way it works, right?
Of course.
Man,
so now you've got this impossible scenario. Like, you can't get any wards out against Slark.
Like, you can't get vision outside. You can't dip out of your high ground. At the least, you don't lose racks. That's one blessing here for Blacklist. I have to say this, the fact that Naga's song, the fact that Ensnare still goes through, it's literally her Ags upgrade. It's still worded in her Ags if you mouse over it. And allow Ensnare to target spell immune or sleeping units. You don't need that.
No, you don't.
That was literally the only point you'd buy the Ags was to get that Ensnare early. You don't.
Oh, well, it's gone now. Carl, he'll make it up. Pounce was just a little bit short in locking him down. Carl at least has a BKB up, so you could have had that, I suppose. It's still a little bit of a slower siege. SMG, they're trying their best not to give an opening, right? Like, you do not want to throw this game. You win this one, you're 2 games up in a best-of-5 grand final. Like, you're 1 game away after this one if you can win it out of qualifying a TI-12. So, absolute safety out from SMG. And of course, Roshan is actually now respawning. Masros has already scattered it out with the Naga illusions. And so if SMG want to play it ultra safe, you just go back for the Roshan play. Blacklist, they're going to smoke up. They'll see mid one, jump in, Raven, he's going to try, mid one, gets locked down with a hook shot, but he's still just alive. He's still going to go for the fight. Mid one, a Giga Chat, he just doesn't mind walking into 5 heroes because he knows they can do nothing. And look at Massa singing to them now, singing a lullaby, put him to sleep. Raven trying to turn on mid one, he'll just pounce back out. No problem. What do you do?
That, I know, and more for Blacklist. It has to be like the Agvac wall cogs, the Stormhammer onto everyone. But mid one comes in, and you're forced to pop your big spells. You just can't stop this Slark.
Can't catch the Slark, can't catch no one. No one can catch you though, as he's going to jump on Raven, who does get stunned up, and mid one's right behind him. They'll try to hookshot on the Slark to save Raven. He's running towards the fountain, but Arfu's going to lock him down again. He can't even get home. No one will just lock him in his home as the GG is called. My goodness, SMG. 2 games up now in a best-of-5 grand final for TI12. Or for the qualification of TI12. Black